Good morning. I'll be the instructor going over chemical service preparations set by TDLR for state board. This will be on your state board on the clinic floor. The next section is chemical service preparation only for foil highlights, hydroxide virgin relaxer, and hydroxide relaxer retouch. You have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. You may begin. Mannequin preparation. Time allowed is 10 minutes. Procedure criteria, 1 point each. 1. Sanitize, clean hands. 2. Prepare mannequin for service. 3. Divide hair into 4 uniform sections. 4. Apply protective cream. 5. Wear protective gloves throughout chemical services. Same pair is acceptable. Candidates, you have 5 minutes remaining. And then they'll say, candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed. We will now proceed to the next section of the examination. The next section is foil highlights application service. When instructed by the proctor, you will apply product to 2 subsections in a quadrant of your choice using foils. This section is untimed. Foil highlights. Time allowed, not timed. Procedure criteria, 1 point each. 1. Slice or weave hair strands. 2. Apply high lifted product. All scoring has been complete. We will now proceed to the next section of the examination. The next section is hydroxide virgin relaxer service. Please complete a virgin relaxer application in a quadrant of your choice. You have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. You may begin. Hydroxide virgin relaxer. Time allowed, 10 minutes. Procedure criteria, 1 point each. 1. Apply relaxer product for virgin application. 2. Demonstrate smoothing hair on 1 subsection. Candidates, you have 5 minutes remaining. Candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed. We will now proceed to the next section of the examination. The next section is hydroxide relaxer retouch service. Please complete a relaxer retouch assuming 2 inches of regrowth. You have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. You may begin. Hydroxide relaxer retouch. Time allowed is 10 minutes. Procedure criteria, 1 point each. 1. Apply relaxer product to retouch application. Safety criteria, 1 point each. 1. Properly dispose of waste material. 2. Ensure workstation area remains sanitary. 3. Ensure draping is maintained throughout service. 4. Replace contaminated items. 5. Kit remains sanitary. 6. Avoid cross-contamination. Candidates, you have 5 minutes remaining. Candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed. We will now proceed to the next section of the examination. The last section is end of examination disinfection. You have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. You may begin. End of examination disinfection. Time allowed, 10 minutes. Safety criteria, 1 point to each. 1. Dispose of used materials. 2. Disinfect workstation and clean work area. 3. Remove all supplies, materials, and/or personal belongings. Candidates, you have 5 minutes remaining. Candidates, please stop working. All score has been completed. Candidate final instructions. This concludes the practical examination. Please be seated at your assigned station to wait for your score report. Barring any computer-related problems, it should only take approximately 5 to 10 minutes to generate the report. Once you have received your score report, you are required to leave the testing facility immediately. Please be sure to read and review your score report in its entirety. Raters or proctors are not allowed to discuss your examination or its results. For questions or concerns, please wait 24 hours and then contact PSI, Customer Service. Thank you and have a great day. This concludes our testing program for TDLR on Stateboard. Okay, we're going to do the demonstration now for the Stateboard chemicals. First, I'll do the foiling, then I'll do the virgin relaxer, and then I'll do the new growth. So right here, you section into 4 uniform sections on your mannequin. You double drape because it's going to be a chemical, so you would have a towel, a cape, and a towel. You would get gel, and you would get gloves to put on your hands when you do the process. And you don't have to change your gloves. You can use the same gloves for all 3. So your supplies would be a rat tail comb. I put down 3 foils because at Stateboard you only have to do, you can do the slice or the weave for Stateboard, and you only have to do 2 of them. So I decided to do the slice. I brought 3 foils in case for some reason one gets messed up. You'll have security by having 3. I have gel and I have a spatula. You don't have to change the gel. You can use the gel for all 3. So put enough in your container for 3. You can also use a bottle with gel in it if you feel more comfortable with that. I chose this way. So let's begin. You section here into 4 uniform sections, and then you're going to take an 1/8 inch. And these are called slices. This one I'm not going to do. I'm going to lay this one over here. And this one right here, I'm going to go ahead and do the foil. And try to get it as close to the scalp as possible. You'll lay the hair down. And you'll come in with your gel. Might have to turn the ends up a little. Once you've done that, you'll come in, you'll fold the paper and get it as close to the scalp as possible. And then you're going to fold this over. Like this. The next section, you're going to slice the hair again. 1/8. Then you're going to come in here, taking an 1/8, real small. You're going to place the paper as close to the scalp as you can get it.
Which one was that?
This is foiling. There's your slice here, and the next one, you'll put down, taking very small subsections, an 1/8. You'll put the color from the scalp to the hair ends on the foil, bleach, or you can do color, whatever, whichever one. And this is for highlights. Okay? Now you would continue down the hair doing this procedure, if you were giving highlights to somebody, and then do this section, you complete it all the way around. But for state board, they only want you to do 2. Okay? And then here's the one that we didn't do. These are often called lowlights, highlights. It depends on what your client wants. But for state board, we're doing the foils, and this is called foiling. Okay, so you'll take a small slice, 1/8 section, subsection. Next, you lay it over and take another one, and then you'll put your foil underneath. You'll apply the color from the scalp to the hair ends. You'll fold it up in the tinfoil like I showed you, and you do 2 of them. We're going to move on to the Virgin Relaxer. Okay, the Virgin Relaxer. Starting at the most resistant area, taking subsections, a 1/2 inch. I don't need my comb for this, so I'm going to discard it. So I took a 1/2 inch subsection, applying relaxer 1/2 inch from scalp to 1 inch before hair ends. Okay, so basically you're going to be doing the middle part of it, and then you're going to flip it over. Well, make sure that it's got the relaxer on this side as well. Then you're going to flip it over. You're going to come, take a 1/2 inch subsection, applying relaxer 1/2 inch from scalp to 1 inch before hair ends. And you would complete this whole section of hair, or quadrant, whichever you prefer to call it. You have 10 minutes in which to do this application. They have to see the partings. Half inch, 1 inch. Basically the middle part, once again. Now, I'm kind of not pulling it down quite to an inch because this is going to bleed. It's going to run. And if you do right at an inch, it's going to run and get the ends wet, and you can't have the ends wet. Okay? So, remember, keep that in mind when you're doing it. Okay, then you're going to put them all down. Now, this is on virgin hair. You have to see the partings. Okay? So, the virgin hair, it says almost, until hair is almost relaxed. And then you're going to go from the scalp to the hair ends. So, on the first 2, you're going to put it right on the scalp, all the way to the hair ends. Pull it all the way through. All the way from scalp to the hair ends. Okay? And then you're going to leave it. You're going to back up. You're going to stop. And they'll tell you to stop. And they'll do your grading. So remember, a 1/2 inch to 1 inch before the hair ends, because we're doing virgin hair. And the body heat, the endothermic heat, processes the top really quick. Everybody uses blow dryers or hot irons, and it fries the ends a little bit, so that's going to grab because the cuticle's blown wide open. So this is why you apply on virgin hair only, just like this. And when the hair is almost relaxed, you'll come and you'll put it through all the sections if you were doing it all. Okay, now we're going to go on to the color retouch. Starting at the most resistant area, taking 1/4 inch subsection, applying color 2 inches, putting it over, make sure it's saturated on both sides. 2 inches, this is a color retouch, so you're only going to do 2 inches. Once again, they have to see the partings. Two inches down. You also have only 10 minutes to do this one. This is the color retouch, taking 1/4 inch subsections, applying color 2 inches down. Always start at your most resistant area, and that's the top, that's your crown. This right here is Virgin Relaxer. You'll apply 1/2 inch subsections to 1/2 inch from scalp to 1 inch before hair ends. When hair is almost relaxed, you'll come back and do the first 2, and you'll pull it from the scalp to the hair ends. This right here is called slicing. These are highlights. You take an 1/8 inch section, you lay the hair over, you take another 1/2 subsection, and you apply the color, frost, whatever you're doing from the scalp to the hair ends using the foil technique. And you'll do 2 of these, and that'll be sufficient for a Stateboard. And once you complete any of these, you stand back, and the proctor or the instructor is going to tell you to stop. You'll stop, and they'll grade you, and then they'll tell you to go on. And then always clean up your station after everything you do. And that is it for the chemicals.